What's going on, everyone? So, a lot of question marks about Dalton Knecht this upcoming season, from his poor performance in summer league to him kind of not being the same and kind of seeming a little checked out since the trade. Which I get, it's understandable. I mean, not everybody wants guys to just be machines, robots. Understand it's business, right? And just you get traded, come back to the same team, which almost never happens, right? And it's like, well, now you got pull up your bootstraps and let's go. Not everyone is built that way. Not everyone, especially a young kid, a rookie coming in who's excited to be a Laker, he thinks, hey, I'm playing really good for them. I just dropped 40, a week ago, or 38, whatever it was. And then all of a sudden you're on the trade block and it's and then you get traded and then you got to come back and now they want you to be bought in and focused and hey, it's just business, kid. Don't mean it. Not everyone can be built that way, right? We all want them to be, but they're not. Right. And he's, you've seen him, he just looks different. It doesn't look like, it's almost like all his confidence and everything has just been drained. And it's unfortunate because I do think he has a ton of potential. I do think he's a guy that could be a very good basketball player in this league. I mean, he's a guy that could be a real difference maker, but where does he slot it into the rotation, for one? Who is he playing over? Because I see so many people you got to play, but over who? Who are you playing him over? Right, that's the problem. He doesn't give. He's our worst defensive player, and he's not consistent enough. He's very streaky to where it's hard to if he's not shooting the lights out, it's hard to play him, especially come playoff time. Right now, those nights where he just can't miss, then yeah, you leave him out there and you play him. But it's are you supposed to play? What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to play him 2 minutes, kind of give him 2 or 3 shots and see. But how many times have we seen Dalton Knecht go 0 of 4, and then he hits that one, and then all of a sudden he finishes the game, and it's dude, Knecht made 6 straight threes, and it's yep, right? We've seen that from him at every level, from college to summer league to preseason to the NBA season, where, he starts off, so, because he is a rhythm shooter, and he is a little bit streaky, sometimes he needs a couple to knock down before he starts to really feel it, right? Before he starts to light it up. So, you have to give him the consistency. And I just don't know where that fills in. But then the problem is we got the reports that were hey, teams, he's lost all his trade value. Teams know that he's kind of checked out. Teams know and are worried. And after his summer league performance and all that stuff, right, that he's basically cooked. Right, Lakers, yeah, there's some teams that would probably take him just to take him, but you're not going to get actual value for him and all that stuff. And, it's a tough spot for Lakers to be in because it's do you keep him and raise his trade value? But again, how do you find him in it? Who is he playing over? When is he playing over? And if he doesn't play well, then whatever little small value he does have is probably zapped and gone, right? And so you're kind of hoping that he actually does kind of turn it around a little bit. But according to Dan Wokey, all of it's kind of overblown. It's all just kind of nonsense, right? So despite the obvious struggles, however, that doesn't seem to be the case for Knecht, as Dan Wokey of The Athletic believes the NBA evaluators aren't putting too much stock into the Lakers guards' summer league performance. I won't go too in-depth on Knecht, other than to say that I think NBA evaluators haven't put much stock into his summer league performance. So again, Dalton Knecht, he had his struggles, did not look good at all in summer league. And, the question was okay, does that kind of sabotage and ruin anything else? Right? As I mentioned earlier in this video, it was is that basically kiss trading Knecht goodbye, other than maybe salary filler at this point, which does that make sense for the Lakers, right? Well, according to Dan Wokey, he thinks that the people that are doing the evaluations don't really care. They're not worried about that. And look, I've talked about this. I've talked about it on this channel. I've talked about it on As It Stands Lakers that, I do think teams understand the situation, right? I do think that teams will trade for Dalton Knecht. Even when I did the video about Dalton Knecht losing his trade value, I said I think it's a little overblown. There's always going to be a team that thinks man, imagine what he would do on our team. He could be better, or a team that really needs him. Right? That's why, the Charlotte Hornets were trying to trade for, because they were a team that wanted him, need him. Now they got, Kneppel, and so that kind of, I think, takes him out of the Dalton Knecht race. But there's always going to be a team that's hey, we could use a young shooter, or, believes that he has the upside of potential still, that think that we could do better. And I think there's a lot of teams that know, like, he's checked out because of the trade, right? The best thing for Dalton Knecht is probably to be traded. If you're a Dalton Knecht fan and you love Dalton Knecht and you want to see him have success, the best chance he has of having said success is being traded. It is. It's just the reality, right? Because he's probably never going to get the opportunity and role on the Lakers. He's not 22, right? Like, so, you know, if he spends the next 2-3 years on the bench, right? Like, now he's 27, 28, like he's at the prime of his career, right? Like, the best for him is to go to a team that allows him to kind of be himself, kind of do more expansive stuff on the offensive side of things, be more of a versatile basketball player, right? But the problem is like on the Lakers, he's very likely not going to be anything more than a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, right? But he's more than that. He's shown the ability to do more than that. But you have, you know, Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves and DeAndre Ayton and all that stuff. Like, best case scenario is he's probably your fourth option, right? But you also need him to play defense. And you need him to be consistent enough. But how does he get consistent if he doesn't get minutes and opportunity and play, right? Like, I just think the best chance for him to really kind of be the player that he's capable of being is trading him to the right team, which I do think that teams will value him. I do think that there will be teams that will look at him and go like, hey, we could do better. He could be great with us. He could shoot the basketball. You do all these things, right? Like, if we trade for him at the right price. But the problem is, I don't think, like, his value is probably never going to be higher than it was when he was dropping 30 and giving you almost, you know, 40 points that one night. Like, that was probably the best time to trade him. Like, dude, this kid is averaging 30 over the last, like, you know, 5 games. Start calling teams up, being like, hey, what do you think, man? Look at that kid. Isn't he great? Right? Like, that's kind of, if you're the Lakers, we're hoping for. And you know, that ship has sailed. And the question is like, if he does, like, let's say he does have a stretch where he does go give you, you know, 25 or whatever, like 5 straight games of like 25 points. Do teams look at that and go like, okay, that's the promising side of it, and like that's why we trade for him? Or do they kind of look at it as like, no, it's just a stretch, let's give it more time? Because that's probably the best time if you're the Lakers to go trade him. Like, hey, you know, he's averaging 25 a game, here you go, like, let's trade him, look how good he is, look at our shiny toy, right? Like, so I don't know, it's a weird spot to be in for Dalton Knecht, a weird spot to be in for the Lakers. I think A, he's getting traded at some point this season. B, I think he has to be traded at some point this season. And C, I don't think he's going to get the opportunity and role in order to kind of grow to the level that, you know, people and fans and whatnot want him to grow on the Lakers. I just don't. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question on you, so let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. We enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.